up, everybody? Welcome to Watch What You Say podcast. We are at this occasion. We are at episode 10. That's right, episode 10. And I think the statistics say that most people start podcasts, like if you can make it to the 10th episode, around 10 or 12, but at least 10, that is a good sign to keep on going. And so we are at episode 10. Happy Black History Month. As you can see, I got my nice hoodie on because I am black and brown 24/7, 365, and sometimes 366. And so we are back with all new episodes. I have to shout out my producer extraordinaire, my friend, my brother, Mike Klein. He is my partner in this, and we decided to do this last May. Wow, it's almost been a year. So for anybody who is thinking about starting a podcast or just starting something in general, just start. It doesn't have to be perfect. There are episodes that I'm looking back at myself and I'm like, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you start. And as you start and you keep going, you build momentum. The people will come. The audience will come. And so just step out on faith and do the work and make something. Again, like I said, we are back. This is episode 10. What have we been up to? I think the last episode, you saw me in my Mary Sithmith sweater because it was Christmas and going into the new year. And so it's been almost 2 months. And so we've had the holiday season. It's come and gone. And we have just experienced the worst snowstorm in a decade. I don't know about any of you. Most of us who are millennials were around during the blizzard of 1996. And being a Philadelphia native, I remember when the snow was like piled really, really high that year. And so to get snow like we got 2 weeks ago, I think, we were overdue. But this cold, I think right now it is 10 degrees outside. And yeah, I think when it goes above, 10, when it's like 25 or 30, it almost feels warm outside because it's been so cold. So I hope that you all are staying warm and drinking your hot cocoa and chili and soup and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, what have I been up to? One, I am in August Wilson's Fences. I am rehearsing for that. The show dates are March 12th through the 22nd. And so we are in deep rehearsals for that. I'm playing Bono, who is the best friend of Denzel Washington's character, Troy. So I kind of get to be the audience's vantage point. So that's been fun. I get to work with some really exciting actors. What else is going on? Regular work in the 9 to 5. I believe that you work the 9 to 5 and use what you earn from the 9 to 5 to support your dream with things like this podcast and other ventures. What else? Man. I'm back in school, and I wasn't going to really reveal that because, it's neither here nor there, but it's a big deal because I was just talking with Mike before we started rolling the camera, and I was saying how I was really intimidated by returning to school because I had not written a paper, like a paper, for about a decade. And I swore that I would never, ever go back to school for any reason. Nope, not me, not I. But here I sit with three classes. And I was so intimidated that I procrastinated in turning in some of my written assignments because I just didn't know. I felt that I had maybe lost my writing voice, my writing style. And with the use of AI in class now, I wanted to make sure that I had my own ideas, and I was just really, really intimidated. And I do well in English. I do really well in English, but just to sit down and take the time to read material, gather it, and to write papers again, kind of just, it bothered me. But I got over my nerves. I got myself together, and I did the papers, and I got A's. And so it reassured that I hadn't lost my intellect when it comes to writing papers. And so if anybody out there is thinking about going back to school for anything, just do it. Don't go in debt, if you can help it. But if it's something that you really want to do, don't be intimidated. Step out and do it. What else has been going on? I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. And we're just putting our best feet forward with this podcast. We have some great ideas and shows planned for the next few months. And so I hope that you guys will stick around because you are in for a fun ride. So we've caught up about what was going on with me. And so I want to check in with everyone. I feel like that to say the world is on fire is an understatement. I think that you would be somebody living under a rock if you did not understand the climate that we are in politically, and some would probably argue spiritually. But I'm going to take the political kind of stance in some of this. So just recently, the individual who occupies 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue posted a video or reshared a video or something that depicted several members of several human beings or past members of government as animals, most notably depicting former President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama as apes. And so one, that is an old, tired, racist trope that has been used, if you look throughout history, especially in the United States of America, that have been used in the Jim Crow era, Civil Rights era, where they depicted African Americans as having, the big lips and the big noses, and the saying that we were likened to baboons, apes, and monkeys. And so for that person to share something like that on their platform that reaches, millions of people, I would first say it was insensitive and, of course, blatantly racist, right? But then I think about it deeper, and the White House came out and said, "Oh, it's it was him saying, paying homage to the Lion King and saying that he is the king of the jungle and blah blah blah." One, I don't recall there being apes in Disney's Lion King. Two, even if that were the case, you are highly aware of the climate that we are in and the racial sensitivity and what it would mean to depict an African American person with an ape on the with their faces on top of a primate species. And so my stance as a black and brown person, at first I was outraged because I thought, like, how in a world, why do we live in a world where this is okay? Why is this acceptable behavior from the person who was supposed to command an elegance and a regalness and supposed to be the I can't even find the word. That's supposed to be like the it guy for our country. That is supposed to be the person that is leading us into our best days. And so for him to post something like that, I'm not shocked. After my outrage, then I remembered that, again, this is par for the course, right? What are we being distracted from? Epstein files, right? They have released about 3 million more documents of the Epstein files that were poorly redacted, by the way. I haven't had a chance to read through all of the information, but it is crazy. What I will say is that former President Obama is not in the Epstein files at all. Right? So let's just get that out of the way. President Bill Clinton, of course, the individual in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is mentioned hundreds of times. There you go. What was it, thousands?
38,000.
So if you did nothing wrong, but 38,000 times, yeah. So do not be distracted, right? We can be outraged, but Black people specifically know what this is. And I would venture to say that people, if you think that that was funny in any way, if you think that it was okay for him to post that, then you should take a good look in the mirror and take a good look about your humanity, right? Because you have, I would assume, you know, someone who is Black or brown in this country, and to think that something like that is funny and okay is not cool. You wouldn't do it to someone who was Jewish. You wouldn't do it to someone who is any other marginalized groups of people. You wouldn't allow this. But for some reason, when it comes to specifically Black people, it seems to be the laughable thing, the okay thing to do. There's the outrage, and there's the, oh, it was just a joke, or he didn't mean it by that, or it was this. Black people know what it is, and the allies know what it is. And so I would ask ourselves, what type of America do we want to be, right? We are going to be 250 years old in this experiment that is the United States of America. And I used to think, God, why did you allow this person to be reelected? And I've sat with that, right? And I think the answer truly is that this person at this time is America's mirror. That all the things that are happening as a result of this person being in charge, America, we are at a crossroads. The 250 years ago, the founding fathers, did what they did, and we have the United States of America. And I think we are being tested now more than ever before. This experiment of democracy, this experiment, even with the fact that Black people were considered 3/5 of a human being, even with all of that, I think the experiment does work. But it is being tested to its limits. And we are at a point in history that we have to decide what type of America do we want to be. Are we truly an America that is land of the free and home of the brave for all? Did I ever get that right? Land of the free and home? Yeah. For all, or is it just for some? And is it for the some based on class and economic status, right? So I think that we have to really look at ourselves and understand, examine our own hearts, examine our own minds, examine the people that we interact with on a daily basis, because we've got, barring anything crazy, we have 2.5 more years of this person. And so he's probably going to do some more things that are completely outlandish and will challenge who we are as a people, as a society. But I would urge us to do the groundwork, right? Each one, teach one, right? Hate is learned, right? If you could go into a classroom and see children playing, they're not concerned about the color. They're not concerned about even their boys can do this, girls can do that. They're not even concerned about that. They are just in a childlike state of love and freedom and imagination and caring for one another. And I think that as we progress in society, things like hate and racism are taught, are passed down. And so I would challenge us to do better. I would challenge us to call out people when we see that they are being discriminated against, call out people when we see that there's hate or racism, and even check ourselves, check our prejudices. We all have them. We all have some, I guess it would be implicit bias about groups of people based on our own human experiences. And so I would challenge us to do the work, right? It takes nothing to put in the extra effort to do the work. I think that America's best days are still ahead of us. I think that a lot of people are waking up and understanding that the deportation, the illegal deportation of people, is not cool. It's not good. It's not right. People need due process under the law, under the Constitution. So I think that we have work to do. We always have work to do. I don't think that we should get comfortable. I think part of our issue is that we got too comfortable. We're making money. People are getting nice houses. Careers are advancing. Entertainment is booming. Technology and artificial intelligence is those innovations have shaped and changed the trajectory of our society. And I think we've gotten lax. I think that we dropped the ball and thought that we were comfortable. We thought that, okay, we've made it. And that's not so. We should be doing what we can to make it better for the next generation, those who are coming behind us. And so I would urge all of us, all of you, to work together, to love on each other, to be a better human being, right? If we can be 1% better every day, doesn't mean you're not going to have your moments when you mess up, but if we can strive to be at least 1% better of a human being every day, I think that we will be in a much, much better place. So, this is a relatively short episode because we're just getting back, but it's episode 10. Like that is an amazing feat to accomplish, right? But we're going to talk about some entertainment moments. So, all right. So by the time you see this, the Super Bowl will have happened, right? My Eagles are not in it, so but go Seahawks. I think it'll be. I'm calling it Seahawks 17-10. I'm calling it 17-10. But we have Charlie Puth is doing the national anthem. Coco Jones is doing the Black national anthem, which is Lift Every Voice and Sing. And Brandy Carlisle, country artist, will be doing Oh, beautiful for spacious skies. America the Beautiful. There we go. I had to sing it. Halftime show is being done by Bad Bunny. So that's going to be interesting to see. And for all of the people out there, just understand that I know it may be a hard concept, but Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. So it's a part of America. So Puerto Ricans are Americans. I just want you to, don't be alarmed. But Puerto Ricans are Americans. I know. You're like, what? Yes, Puerto Ricans are Americans. And not all Spanish people, all Hispanic people look alike. They're light skin and they're dark skin, and they're Dominican and Puerto Rican and Cuban and all that kind of stuff. So it's, but Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. Just want to get that out there. But having said that, Mike and I were just discussing that, what's that old washed up rocker's name? Kid Rock. I thought he's supposed to be having a festival or something during the halftime performance, and he mentioned that if you're a millennial or slightly older and grew up in the MTV era, shout out to MTV, rest in peace. Two bands that were signed on to do it was Nickelback and Creed.
And that was Shinedown and Creed.
Oh, well, look at that. But Shinedown and Creed. Now I can't remember Shinedown, but I think we all know Creed. With arms wide open, that rah. See, I'm doing it wrong. It's rah. Yeah. See, so they backed out. So we all know the joke about Creed, but I bring that up to say the football is one of America's pastimes, right? It's something that kind of unites the country, right? Super Bowl in particular, families gather, you have your parties, the commercials, the halftime performances, your favorite teams are going at it, and so it's a family event. And given the state of our kind of culture, the climate of our culture, I think that it was a disgrace to have a alternative halftime show because you are angry that the National Football League decided to have a Latin artist who happens to also be an American do the halftime show. Did you not forget that we had Shakira and J-Lo? I'll wait. So I don't understand, and we've had a history of I think the Rolling Stones did a halftime show. I think Aerosmith has done a halftime show. So we've had the rockers and all that kind of stuff, and we had the pop people. Why not have Bad Bunny? Why not have a Latin artist do the halftime show? We had Kendrick last year. So, again, it speaks to the culture, the climate of the culture, right? So we just got to do better. So by the time you see this, you will have seen the halftime show. You have seen the Seahawks win and all that good stuff, right? So as we close this short episode, I just want all of us to be more mindful of each other, right? Again, like I stated earlier, just be a better human being. It costs nothing to be nice, right? It costs nothing to just take a minute, take a beat before you react, right? It's called, I think, minding. I think that's the actual term, talking about inner dialogue. But take a pause, right? Breathe. 9 times out of 10, it's probably not that important to go off anger, or the response doesn't. The nature and level of anger in a response is probably most likely not warranted, right? So just be a better human being. And maybe the word to the wise this week would probably be empathy, right? Put yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? Put yourself in their mindset, in their state of mind, right? Think about their feelings. Think about who they are, where they come from, and what they're going through. And is it something that, how would you respond being in their shoes? I think that part of our issue is that we are so caught up in our own lives, which is okay to a degree, but we forget that, one of the greatest commandments is to love your neighbor as you love yourself. But what I'm finding is that sometimes we don't love ourselves like we should. And when you don't love yourself, you disrespect yourself. And so if you're in a constant state of being disrespectful to yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? How in the hell are you going to exhibit grace and mercy and good character to somebody else, right? So let's do the work, people, right? We are going to be okay. This is just I want to say, I feel like we live in the alternate universe or different timeline, but the Twilight Zone, yes, the Twilight Zone, or the multiverse or something. But have empathy for one another, right? Love each other. And I'm just going to sign off with this. Your voice matters. You are, in fact, the only one of you that will ever exist inside and outside of time. And that, my friend, is your superpower. Until next time, you can follow me at Beaux Emerson on Instagram and TikTok. We are on Spotify. We are on YouTube, coming soon to Apple Podcasts. And so we are firing on all cylinders, doing more. Merchandise is coming soon. I know I'm springing that on you, but yes, merchandise is coming soon. And so the goal is to just grow and grow and grow. And this is not a podcast that is for popularity or for like clicks and views, but I believe that what we say matters. The words we use when we speak carry weight. And we should always, always be mindful of who we're speaking to, how we're speaking to them, and what we're saying. So again, until next time, see you guys.